Part 1, Into the Abyss. They say nothing wakes you up like the smell of burnt circuitry and a cockpit warning siren blaring in your face. I've always been an early riser, but when your freighter's life support is singing its death march, you learn to appreciate morning alarms on a whole new level. I scrambled out of my makeshift bed, a lumpy slab of foam pretending to be a mattress, and staggered into the cockpit. The control panel was an angry storm of flashing reds. A chill ran down my spine, not just from the failing temperature controls. Rogue asteroid, I asked the ship Zephyr, though she wasn't one for conversation. No time for breakfast, or pants, but we'll keep that between us and the void. A quick glance at the scanners showed nothing unusual, except, of course, the gaping maw of a cosmic anomaly dead ahead. Stellar fog shrouded it with all the subtlety of a magician's cloak, seductive and ominous. Zephyr's sensors were useless against the thing. Figures. I'd been charting the uncharted, mapping the unmapped for months now, more interested in the potential haul than good sense. And apparently I'd flown right into the belly of the beast. Great Marshal, I muttered to myself, you've outdone yourself this time. Just as I was considering the merits of prayer, a smooth, melodic voice hummed through the static. Captain Marshal, you seem to have parked in our backyard. I blinked, half expecting I'd finally lost it somewhere between the last port and here. Identify yourself, I barked, my voice gruffer than usual, trying to mask the surprise. The voice chuckled, a sound as warm as it was infuriating. You may call me Noor, and you're trespassing on the brink of the Whispering Rift. The Whispering Rift, of course, the one stretch of space even smugglers avoided. Legends were one thing, but listening to a nebula sing sailors to madness was another. I could almost hear my old mentor, Captain Ray, grumbling about foolhardy young bloods and expensive mistakes. Look, Noor, I'm just passing through. A little lost, maybe, I confessed, scanning for any sign of this elusive interlocutor. If you could point me towards the nearest exit, I'd be much obliged. Eager to leave, Captain, but the rift has so much to offer. The voice was playful, as though talking to a child reluctant to try new foods. Like asphyxiation, I retorted, adjusting dials and flipping switches, trying to make peace with my malfunctioning systems. A light flickered, then died. Among other delights, Noor replied, but I can assist for a price. I groaned inwardly. Everyone had a price. Name it. Your presence at a meeting, shall we say, of extraordinary minds. Before I could reply, my console blinked to life, now showing a course plotted through the anomaly. The coordinates led to something massive, and, judging by the readings, ancient. All right, Noor, you've got yourself a date, I said with a sigh, curiosity and desperation both gnawing at me. Adjusting course, I piloted Zephyr into the heart of the Whispering Rift. The shadows of dying stars stretched across the void like skeletal hands. I felt the ship shudder, whether from residual gravitation or sheer dread, I couldn't tell. As I approached the coordinates, an immense structure loomed into view, every bit as awe-inspiring as it was otherworldly. A sprawling, spiral megastructure, its surface shimmering with a kaleidoscope of colors, like oil on water. Welcome to the Celestial Conclave, Noor announced proudly, her voice coming from nowhere and everywhere. Is this where you murder me? I hope it's quick. I've got to collect rent from my tenant under the bed, I quipped, though my heart beat like a drum. The conclave is peaceful, Captain. You'll find yourself in fine company, a unique opportunity to meet the galaxy's most innovative minds. As we docked, the ship's systems quieted, soothed perhaps by the respite. I donned my utility suit, hoping it would mask the fact that I'd skipped the whole clothes portion of my morning routine. The airlock cycled open, revealing a vibrant atrium bathed in golden light, alive with unfamiliar life forms. I stepped out, eyes wide with wonder and trepidation. This place was a market, a sanctuary, and a mausoleum rolled into one. Before I could take in the scene, I froze. Descending from a central archway came a creature unlike anything I'd encountered, an elegant lattice of shimmering energy and diaphanous tendrils, a symphony of living light. Noor. Welcome, Captain Marshal, she said, her voice directly in my mind now, resonating with the slightest hint of humor. Let us discuss the terms of our arrangement. As I followed her, one thought rang clear. This was no ordinary job, and I wasn't getting out of this rift without a story to tell or a few scars to show for it. Part 2: The Synapse Chamber. As Noor led me through the bustling heart of the celestial conclave, I tried to match her unhurried pace, though my mind raced through 100 different scenarios. Each step brought new wonders, a trio of beings encased in crystalline exosuits, their thoughts reverberating through the air as harmonic tones, and a marketplace teeming with goods and wares that defied terrestrial description. The other inhabitants paid me little heed, their focus clearly on trade, diplomacy, or whatever alien equivalent held their interest. I couldn't shake the feeling of being a lone, vulnerable ant in a world of giants, every glance a potential threat or boon. "So, Noor," I ventured, trying to keep my voice casual, "who are these extraordinary minds you mentioned?" Her tendrils fluttered, the gesture somehow both dismissive and reassuring. Representatives from across galaxies, drawn by the rift's mystery. Scholars, engineers, explorers, and those with less academic pursuits. "Less academic, you say? My kind of crowd," I replied dryly, though my curiosity piqued at the possible undercurrents of intrigue. Noor paused before an enormous chamber, its entrance framed by intricately woven filaments of gold and sapphire. The Synapse Chamber. Inside, a circular platform overlooked a vast array of holographic displays, each depicting swirling galaxies, anomalies, and the occasional snippet of mathematical theory that made my head spin. A council of beings gathered around the platform. Their forms varied, from luminous cloud-like entities to beings with carapaces harder than reinforced steel. The air was thick with an unspoken tension, a gathering storm waiting for the right spark. "Captain Marshall, thank you for accepting our invitation," a voice rumbled, emanating from a massive reptilian figure whose scales shimmered with the subtlety of a supernova. "I am Kassak. We've been expecting you." "Expecting me? I didn't even expect myself here," I replied, trying to sound nonchalant despite the enormity of it all. "The rift is a beacon," Noor interjected, her voice a gentle wave. "It calls those who seek the unknown, and you, Captain, are here to help us solve the greatest enigma of our time." Kassak gestured to a holographic representation of the Whispering Rift, a mesmerizing whirlpool of stellar dust and distorted spacetime. "We believe the rift contains a repository of knowledge from an ancient civilization, the Arcani, but its secrets are hidden, locked away by technology beyond even our comprehension." "Great, I'm honored, really," I replied, sarcasm thinly veiling the anxiety threading through my words. "But why me? I'm just a freighter captain, not a scientist or engineer." "Because you possess something none of us do," Kassak said, his eyes glowing with earnest intensity. "An ancient artifact, passed down through generations, believed to be a key." I frowned, the puzzle pieces slowly aligning in my mind. The pendant. Back when I was a kid, my father had given me a pendant, a rough, metallic shard inscribed with indecipherable symbols. I'd worn it out of sentiment, a relic of a past I barely understood. "Well, that explains why I felt like a walking target," I muttered, recalling the curious glances at the conclave. Noor approached, her presence a calming balm in the charged atmosphere. "We need you to help us access the Synapse Gate, a threshold into the heart of the Arcani's legacy." The air thickened with anticipation, and I realized I stood at the edge of something monumental, a chance to explore mysteries beyond my wildest dreams, or a trap leading to my premature demise. "All right," I said, my voice steadier than I felt, "but if we're doing this, I need assurance. No double-crossing, no hidden agendas." "Your concerns are noted," Kassak said, his expression solemn. "We are united by a shared goal to uncover and understand, no ulterior motives." A hum of agreement rippled through the chamber, the consensus as tangible as the walls themselves. "Now that's settled," I quipped, stuffing my hands into my pockets, fingers brushing the cool metal of the pendant. "Where do we begin?" Noor inclined her head towards a portal at the chamber's far end, its frame etched with glowing symbols that mirrored those on my pendant. "The Synapse Gate awaits, Captain Marshall." As I stepped forward with the council, I felt a curious sense of belonging, a thread binding me to this strange assembly of seekers. Together, we walked towards the unknown, the promise of discovery burning bright within the rift's enigmatic heart. What greeted us beyond the gate would test every limit of wit, courage, and trust. But for the first time in as long as I could remember, the fear of the unknown was overshadowed by the exhilarating pull of possibility. Part 3: The Luminous Labyrinth Asterisk. Stepping through the synapse gate felt like walking into the collective dream of a long-dead civilization. The air shimmered with iridescent light, shifting and swirling as if the very atmosphere was alive with anticipation. The ground beneath my feet was a mosaic of shifting geometry, patterns that danced and transformed with every step. Beside me, Noor glided forward with an ethereal grace, her luminous tendrils casting soft glows across the radiant expanse. Cassac and the council moved with purpose, their forms cutting an imposing silhouette against the kaleidoscopic backdrop. We found ourselves in a colossal chamber, its walls soaring into infinity, a testament to the Arcani's architectural prowess. Pillars of light pulsed rhythmically, each beat resonating through the space like the heartbeat of a forgotten giant. Hieroglyphs drifted lazily across the air, their symbols intertwining in a mesmerizing ballet. "This is remarkable," I breathed, awe creeping into my voice. "It's like stepping into a living work of art." "Indeed," Noor agreed, her voice weaving through my thoughts like a gentle breeze. The Arcani knew how to leave an impression. Cassac approached a central dais, the holographic display hovering above it, a swirling storm of symbols and constellations. "The knowledge we seek lies within the luminous labyrinth," he explained, gesturing with a taloned hand, "a maze of light and sound beyond this chamber." "Sounds delightful," I said dryly, though my pulse quickened at the thought of what lay ahead. Any chance they left a map or some breadcrumbs for us to follow? Cassac chuckled, a rumbling sound like distant thunder. "Navigating the labyrinth requires more than maps, Captain. It demands intuition and harmony with the Arcani's legacy." "Intuition, huh? I've been known to survive on that before," I replied with a wry grin, tapping the pendant hanging from my neck. As we stepped forward, the room transformed around us. The walls faded into translucence, revealing a sprawling network of corridors and pathways, all glowing with soft, pulsating light. The labyrinth seemed to stretch into eternity, a fractal tapestry of possibilities. We set off, the council forming a loose line behind me. The labyrinth was disorienting, its corridors shifting like the tides of an ocean. At times, I felt as though I were walking on air, the ground shimmering beneath me like a mirage. "Keep your wits about you, Captain," Noor cautioned, her voice gentle yet firm. "The labyrinth is as much a test of perception as it is of will." As if to illustrate her point, the path before us split into a dozen different directions, each one shimmering with a different shade of light. My mind reeled with the possibilities, each choice like a string pulled taut across a chasm. I paused, closing my eyes and reaching for the pendant, feeling its cool weight in my hand. "Trust yourself," I thought, recalling my father's words. "The path will reveal itself." I opened my eyes, and there it was, a subtle glow beckoning from one of the paths, so faint it was almost imperceptible. I stepped forward, heart pounding in my chest, the council following without question. The corridors twisted and turned, leading us deeper into the labyrinth's heart. The air hummed with a subtle energy, the walls vibrating in harmony with our footsteps. We were close now, I could feel it, a promise of revelation just beyond the next bend. "Captain," Cassac rumbled from behind, his voice tinged with urgency. "We are not alone." I turned, catching sight of movement, a shadow flitting across the periphery, gone before I could discern its shape. My pulse quickened, adrenaline surging through my veins. "What was that?" I asked, tension threading through my voice. "One of the labyrinth's guardians, perhaps," Noor suggested, her tendrils twitching in a gesture of uncertainty. "They ensure the Arcani's secrets remain protected." "Guardians, of course," I sighed, glancing at the council. "Not to worry, I've always been good with introductions." The labyrinth seemed to sense our presence, the corridors narrowing and twisting in response, the light dimming to a somber hue. We pressed on, guided by the faint glow that had become our compass. As we navigated the final stretch, a massive chamber opened before us. At its center loomed a colossal structure, a crystalline obelisk radiating light and sound. It pulsed with a rhythm that resonated deep within my bones, a melody older than time itself. The heart of the labyrinth, Cassac breathed, all reflected in his eyes. We must attune ourselves to its song. I approached the obelisk, the pendant in my hand vibrating in resonance. The council formed a circle around me, their presence a reassuring weight against the enormity of the moment. With a deep breath, I reached out, touching the crystalline surface. A surge of energy coursed through me, a flood of images and sensations. Pouring into my mind, visions of the Arcani, their achievements and tragedies, their hopes and fears, their legacy preserved within this luminous monolith. And then clarity, a path forged in light, leading us out of the labyrinth, towards the rift's ultimate truth. The air hummed with possibilities, the promise of secrets unveiled. As the chamber faded around us, one thought crystallized in my mind. We were on the brink of something monumental, a discovery that could reshape the fabric of the cosmos. And in that moment, I knew I would do whatever it took to see it through, no matter the cost. Part 4: Echoes of Eternity. Exiting the luminous labyrinth felt like waking from a dream that lingered at the edges of consciousness, a mixture of wonder and disorientation. The path led us to a serene chamber, its walls mimicking the gentle ebb and flow of a cosmic ocean. Somehow, it felt both ancient and newborn, as if the Arcani had woven time itself into the fabric of this place. The council gathered around me, their expressions a tapestry of anticipation and reverence. Noor hovered close, her presence a calming balm amidst the charged atmosphere. "What did you see inside the heart?" Noor asked softly, her tendrils weaving an intricate dance of curiosity. "A vision," I replied, struggling to find words for the flood of images and sensations. The Arcani's history, their journey, triumphs and losses, and a path calling us forward. Cassac nodded, his eyes gleaming with understanding. "The heart has chosen you as its herald captain. You carry the weight of many eras within you now." "No pressure then," I quipped, though my mind was a tumult of thoughts and emotions. "But what happens next? What's the next piece of this cosmic puzzle?" "Beyond this chamber lies the Echo Nexus, a convergence of knowledge and potential," Noor explained, gesturing towards an archway pulsating with soft, welcoming light. "There, the Arcani's purpose will be revealed." As we approached the archway, the path seemed to pulse with life beneath our feet, each step resonating with the heartbeat of the rift itself. The air was thick with anticipation, a palpable energy that mirrored my own feelings. We entered the Nexus, a sprawling expanse that defied description. It was as if we'd stepped into a universe in miniature, a swirling tapestry of stars, planets, and nebulae, each one alive with potential and possibility. Holographic interfaces filled the space, their ethereal forms shifting and evolving as though responding to some unseen symphony. In the center stood a device unlike any I'd seen before, a complex array of gears and lights, humming with a latent power. Its form was both alien and familiar, a bridge between the Arcani's past and an uncertain future. "What is it?" I asked, mesmerized by the intricate machinery. "A temporal conduit," Cassac replied, reverence in his voice. "The Arcani's crowning achievement. It holds the power to alter the flow of time, to weave new destinies." The enormity of the revelation settled around us like a heavy cloak. The implications were staggering, the potential for both creation and destruction woven into the very fabric of this device. I turned to the council, my voice firm despite the whirlpool of emotions within. "And what do you intend to do with it?" "That is for us to decide, collectively," Noor said, her eyes reflecting the light cascading from the machinery. "The Arcani entrusted this power to those worthy enough to find it, but they also left a warning. As great as the power to alter time is, so too is the peril." I nodded, the weight of responsibility settling on my shoulders. Altering time was a task that demanded prudence, wisdom, and restraint, qualities often in short supply where power was concerned. As the council deliberated, a subtle vibration thrummed through the air, and I glanced around, frowning. The sensation was akin to a distant echo, a whisper of sound and motion creeping through the nexus. "Something's wrong," I said, my instincts prickling with foreboding. "We're not alone here." No sooner had the words left my lips than the chamber shifted, the stars and atoms swirling into a vortex of light and shadow. From its depths emerged a figure, its form a shivering cascade of energy and matter, a conduit, a manifestation of the device's power given form. The entity spoke, its voice a chorus of harmonics vibrating through my bones. "You must choose, travelers, to harness the conduit's gift or to leave it untouched." "Didn't expect a cosmic quiz," I murmured, catching Noor's eye. "The Arcani's guardian," she whispered, her presence a steady flame amidst the storm. "The final test." As the council debated the choice laid before us, I felt the weight of the pendant against my chest, a reminder of the legacy I carried, a legacy now demanding a choice. With a deep breath, I stepped forward, addressing the guardian directly. "What if we seek only understanding, to preserve the fabric of what is?" The entity regarded me with eyes that burned like supernovas, its form shifting and spiraling in response. "A choice of restraint is a choice of wisdom, yet the current of time pulls ever onward. What will you do when faced with the inevitable?" "I'll do what I've always done," I replied, voice steady and sure. "I'll adapt and find a way forward." The room held its breath, the nexus alive with potential, the council poised at the brink of decision. Whatever choice we made would reverberate through the eons, a testament to the power of unity, understanding, and the unyielding march of time. And as we stood on the cusp of destiny, I knew that together, we were capable of facing whatever lay within the rift's mysterious embrace. Part 5: The Weave of Fate. The afterimage of the Guardian lingered like a comet's tail, a reminder of the enormity of our task. In its wake, the nexus hummed with latent energy, the temporal conduit at its core pulsating softly, a heartbeat of potential. The council convened around the device, their discussions a blend of languages and harmonics that transcended mere words. The tension was palpable, an electric undercurrent that charged the air as we deliberated what to do with this power to alter time's tapestry. Noor approached me, her luminous form casting a warm glow in the dim light. "Captain, your insight is crucial. The Arcani's legacy hangs by a thread. What do you propose?" I ran a hand through my hair, the weight of 1,000 possibilities bearing down. We need to preserve the integrity of what is, but also ensure it serves its rightful purpose. This device isn't just a weapon, it's a tool for understanding. Kasak nodded, his massive frame a pillar of contemplation. "We must tread carefully. The conduit is a gift, but also a responsibility." Our deliberations were interrupted by a low rumble, a vibration thrumming through the nexus, like the distant roll of thunder. The chamber flickered, the holographic stars shivering as if in protest. "What now?" I muttered, instinctively clutching the pendant. My eyes scanned the room, searching for the source of the disturbance. "The rift is unstable," Noor said, her voice tinged with urgency. "Too much energy is being channeled through the nexus." Before we could react, the ground shifted beneath us, a tremor like the groan of tectonic plates echoing through the chamber. Panels sparked and systems flickered, caught in the grip of an unseen force. "We need to stabilize the conduit," Kasak barked, his scales catching the flickering light. Together, we surged into action, the council members dispersing to their respective stations. Noor guided me to the control interface, her tendrils weaving through the air in a dance of illumination. "Here, Captain," she instructed, pointing to a series of holographic controls that shimmered with possibilities. "We must recalibrate the energy flow." Sweat beaded on my brow as I coordinated with Noor, my fingers moving over the virtual console in a desperate attempt to prevent a catastrophe. The interface pulsed with a life of its own, each adjustment reverberating through the chamber. "Easy like threading a needle while your ship's on fire," I grumbled, trying to focus amidst the chaos. The room echoed with the symphony of council members working in unison, a testament to the power of collaboration. As we worked, the rumble intensified, the air charged with static. The conduit glowed with a fierce light, its energies threatening to spiral out of control. Almost there, Noor urged, her voice a beacon through the storm of activity. Steady, Captain. With a final adjustment, the controls clicked into place, the energy flow stabilizing with a sigh of relief. The rumbling subsided, the chamber settling back into a gentle hum, the danger averted. I exhaled sharply, leaning against the console, my heart pounding from the adrenaline. That was a bit more excitement than I signed up for. Yet you handled it admirably, Noor replied, her voice a blend of warmth and respect. The Nexus is secure, thanks to you. Kasak rejoined us, his expression a mix of pride and exhaustion. We've averted disaster, but this serves as a reminder. The power we wield must be treated with respect and caution. I nodded, the truth of his words resonating deeply. The Arcani's legacy was a double-edged sword, and it was up to us to ensure it served the greater good. As the council reconvened, we solidified our plans, using the conduit not to change the past, but to observe it, to learn and grow from the wisdom of the Arcani. It was a choice rooted in humility and hope, a commitment to honor the legacy we'd inherited. The Rift's mysteries remained vast and untamed, its secrets waiting to be uncovered. With the council united in purpose, I felt a renewed determination to face whatever lay ahead. Together, we would navigate the shifting tides of time, guided by the knowledge of the past and the promise of a future yet unwritten. And as we stood on the precipice of discovery, I knew we had only just begun to unravel the threads of fate woven into the tapestry of the stars. Part 6: The Fractured Horizon. With the Nexus stabilized and our path forward defined, a sense of cautious optimism settled over our makeshift alliance. Yet, as the last echoes of the conduit's volatile energies faded, an itch of foreboding lingered in the back of my mind, a whisper of unfinished business. The council disbanded to prepare for the delicate task ahead, channeling the temporal conduit's power to observe the Arcani's past, safeguarding its legacy while gleaning insights for our future. Noor accompanied me as I made my way back to Zephyr. The freighter looked just a tad less scruffy compared to the celestial grandeur surrounding us. Zephyr could use a little of that Arcani polish, I mused aloud, tapping the hull affectionately. Your vessel has a charm of its own, Noor replied, her tendrils weaving light patterns as if to highlight Zephyr's quirks. Yeah, she's a real beauty queen, all right, I chuckled, then paused. Noor, something's bugging me. That instability felt more like interference than a simple overload. She nodded, her luminescent gaze thoughtful. You suspect an outside influence. Maybe, I admitted, recalling the phantom tremor. I just got this feeling we're not the only ones interested in the Rift's secrets. Noor's silence was telling, and her aura shimmered, a subtle sign of her contemplation. If there are others seeking control over the Rift, we must remain vigilant. I nodded, unease nodding in my gut. The Rift was a cosmic siren, its song drawing more than just curious minds. Ambition, greed, and desperation were equally potent lures. As we prepared for the upcoming observation, a delicate procedure requiring precision and harmony, I noticed a flicker on Zephyr's sensor array, a whisper of motion at the fringe of our awareness. Great, I muttered under my breath, adjusting the scanners. Looks like we've got company. Emerging from the starlit shadows, a vessel loomed, a sleek, predatory craft bristling with unfamiliar technology. Its silhouette was a stark contrast to the surrounding ethereal glow, a dark omen against the Rift's splendor. Unknown ship, I hailed, my voice cutting through the static. Identify yourself. The reply came swiftly, a voice dripping with confident authority. Ah, Captain Marshall, you've stumbled into quite the spectacle, haven't you? Depends on your point of view, I shot back, masking my apprehension. Care to introduce yourself? Call me Riven, the voice replied, smooth and unperturbed. My associates and I have been observing your progress with great interest. Riven, the name carried a weight I couldn't place, a shadow of familiarity that clawed at my memory. "And what's your interest in the rift?" I pressed, keeping my tone conversational. "The same as yours," Riven replied, his words laced with thinly veiled amusement, "to uncover what the Arcani left behind." "No offense, but you don't strike me as the academic type," I noted, glancing at Noor. Her form radiated quiet vigilance, ready to act if needed. "Let's just say we have different methods," Riven said, his ship edging closer, a serpent encircling its prey, and much to gain. "I've got an idea. How about we avoid the whole hostile takeover routine and stick to our sides of the rift?" I suggested, trying to keep the situation from spiraling. "Unfortunately, Captain, that's not a luxury we can afford," Riven replied, the sound of power systems powering up reverberating through the comms. "The conduit is far too valuable to leave in uncertain hands." As Riven's ship closed in, Zephyr's alarms flared to life, a chaotic symphony of warnings. My pulse quickened, the looming threat of conflict sharpening my senses. "Noor, get ready," I shouted, hands flying over the controls. Zephyr lurched into motion, engines roaring with defiance as we veered away from the encroaching vessel. The dance began, a furious ballet of evasion and pursuit amidst the rift's shimmering depths. Riven's craft was agile, matching Zephyr's maneuvers with ease, a relentless shadow. "Captain," Kasak's voice crackled over the comms, urgency clear. "We will assist, hold your position." The Council's vessels emerged from the rift's embrace, forming a protective phalanx around Zephyr. Together, we weaved through the starry expanse, a united front against Riven's aggression. Despite the tension, a strange calm settled over me, a sense of belonging, of purpose. Here, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, we were a force to be reckoned with. "Brace yourselves," I called, juking Zephyr into a sharp evasive pattern, as Riven's ship unleashed a volley of energy, the beams slicing through the void like daggers. With a coordinated surge, the Council vessels retaliated, their weapons singing in harmony, a testament to their unity. The ensuing barrage forced Riven's ship to retreat, its form swallowed by the rift's enigmatic shadows. "Round one goes to us," I murmured, easing Zephyr into a steady co. The reprieve was temporary, I knew, but it was enough. As the rift's mysteries loomed ever larger, one thing was certain: we were not alone in this endeavor. The path ahead was fraught with peril and promise, and I was more determined than ever to see it through, come what may. Part 7: The Veil of Shadows. The rift's embrace, once mysterious and inviting, now seemed fraught with danger and secrets yet to unravel. As we regrouped, Noor hovered beside me, her presence soothing the tension lingering in the cockpit. "Nice flying, Captain," she commended, her tendrils flickering with approval. "Thanks," I replied, though the earlier skirmish weighed heavily on my mind. "Riven won't be deterred for long. We need to figure out his game, and fast." The Council's ships formed a protective perimeter around Zephyr, their vigilance a silent pact forged in the crucible of recent events. Kasak's voice resonated through the comms, a steady anchor in the shifting currents of our situation. "We have bought ourselves time, but the rift's mysteries remain unresolved," Kasak intoned, his eyes fixed on the swirling nebulae beyond. I nodded, scanning the sensors for any sign of Riven's presence. "And time is something I'd rather not squander. What's our next move?" "The Arcani's records suggest a hidden enclave within the rift," Noor mused, her voice thoughtful. "A place where the Arcani gathered to commune with the rift's power." "An enclave," I repeated, the notion sparking a flicker of hope. "Could it hold the answers we need?" "It is our best lead," Kasak affirmed, "but the journey there will not be without peril." Determined, I set a course deeper into the rift, the starlit path unfolding like a tapestry ahead. The conduit's wisdom whispered through the ship systems, its resonance guiding us towards the elusive enclave. As Zephyr slipped through the rift's intertwined layers of light and shadow, the ship seemed to resonate with the rift's song, a harmony thrumming through its hull. I felt a kinship with this vessel, our fates intertwined within the cosmic dance. As we descended into the rift's depths, the environment shifted. The once vibrant hues gave way to a landscape of ethereal twilight, the light dimmed to a muted glow. The air was thick with charged particles, an electric hum that reverberated in my bones. "Stay sharp," I warned the crew, my hands steady on the controls, the rifts playing tricks on us. Noor's presence radiated reassurance, a lighthouse in the gathering gloom. The Arcani believed in embracing the unknown. We must do the same. Our trek took us to the edge of an immense nebula, its tendrils unfurling like the petals of a colossal flower. Within its depths lay the enclave, a sanctuary hidden within the rift's heart. "There," Kassak said, pointing towards a barely perceptible opening amidst the nebula's embrace, "the Arcani's enclave awaits." We approached cautiously, Zephyr weaving through the ethereal mists that cloaked our destination. As we entered the enclave, the atmosphere shifted, a serene quietude settling over the landscape. The enclave's architecture was unlike anything I had seen, a graceful fusion of form and function, its spires towering like ancient sentinels against the starlit horizon. Energy pulsed through its structure, a gentle symphony that whispered of ages past. Noor and Kassak joined me as we stepped onto the enclave's surface, the ground beneath our feet resonating with the echoes of the Arcani's presence. The air was filled with an otherworldly music, a melody that wrapped around us like an embrace. "This place, it feels alive," I murmured, struck by the palpable sense of serenity that enveloped us. "Indeed," Noor replied, her voice reverent, "the Arcani's legacy endures here." We explored the enclave, guided by the whispers of the rift. Each chamber unveiled a new marvel, holographic archives, shimmering light sculptures, and complex mechanisms that hummed with latent energy. Before long, we reached the enclave's heart, a chamber adorned with intricate carvings depicting the Arcani's history. At its center lay a device, its form reminiscent of the temporal conduit but smaller, more refined. "A repository of knowledge," Kassak surmised, examining the device with care. "Perhaps it holds the key to understanding the Arcani's intentions." Noor nodded, her tendrils weaving patterns of light in contemplation. "We must activate it, Captain." With a steadying breath, I approached the device, the pendant around my neck vibrating gently against my chest. I reached out, my fingers brushing the controls, a ripple of energy coursing through me. The device awakened, its surface shifting to reveal a cascade of holographic projections, an intricate weave of light and sound that danced through the chamber. Images unfolded before us, scenes of the Arcani's rise and fall, their triumphs and tribulations. Yet as we delved deeper into the repository, an unsettling truth emerged. The Arcani had foreseen their end, their legacy a cautionary tale of hubris and ambition. Their reach had exceeded their grasp, and the rift's power had become their undoing. "The Arcani were undone by their own creation," Kassak said, his voice heavy with the W. "Late of understanding." "But their knowledge endures," I countered, a resolve hardening within me, and with it, a chance to chart a different course. As the repository's final images faded, a singular purpose coalesced within our minds. The rift's power was a tool, not a weapon, a chance to learn, to grow, and to forge a future unmarred by the mistakes of the past. And with that understanding, we stood united, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For within the rift's depths, amidst the shadows and light, we had found a beacon of hope, a legacy worth preserving. Together, we would honor the Arcani's vision, navigating the rift's intricacies with wisdom and grace, forging a path towards a destiny we would shape with our own hands. Part 8: The Celestial Forge. Emerging from the enclave with newfound understanding, we navigated through the rift's delicate labyrinth, each pulse of the shifting, nebulae reinforcing the lessons we had gleaned. The Arcani's truth coiled within us like the intricate constellations that marked our path, guiding us to the next challenge that awaited us in this cosmic odyssey. Our return to the celestial conclave was met with fervor, the council's eyes alive with anticipation and the weight of responsibility. But as we docked Zephyr and stepped onto the familiar ground of the conclave, an unexpected sight greeted us, a gathering of ships, their designs a chaotic medley of cultures and epochs, crowding the docking bays. "Visitors," I murmured, casting a sidelong glance at Noor, who hovered beside me, her presence as steady as a star's burn. "The rift has become a beacon," she replied, her tendrils shimmering with intrigue. "It seems the universe has taken notice." Kasak joined us, his gaze assessing the newcomers with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "We should proceed carefully. The rift's mysteries are no longer ours alone to uncover." We moved through the throng of arrivals, the conclave's halls abuzz with the energy of exploration and discovery. Beings of all shapes and sizes mingled, their voices a cacophony of languages that echoed through the corridors. As we made our way towards the central chamber, a familiar figure intercepted us, Riven, his expression a blend of respectful rivalry and pragmatic alliance. "Captain Marshall," he greeted, inclining his head with a wry smile. "It seems you've drawn quite the crowd. Are you planning a festival?" "Just sharing the wealth," I replied, my tone guarded but not unfriendly. "What brings you back, Riven?" He gestured towards the bustling atrium, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "The same thing that brought all these souls, a promise of knowledge, of power, and perhaps more." I nodded, a flicker of understanding passing between us. The rift had become a crucible of ambition and hope, its allure irresistible to those seeking answers or opportunity. Inside the council chamber, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Noor, Kasak, and I took our places among the gathered delegates, the weight of our journey woven into the fabric of the room. "Friends," Kasak began, his voice a resonant echo, "we have unlocked the Arcani's secrets, yet with this knowledge comes a greater challenge. The rift must serve as a forge for unity, not division." A murmur of assent rippled through the assembly, the resolve of our alliance mirrored in countless eyes. But as we deliberated the path forward, a new development emerged, an envoy from a distant civilization, their motives shrouded in layers of diplomatic nuance. They carried with them a proposal, a joint venture to explore the rift's potential, to share in its bounty for the benefit of all. "An alliance with unknown allies," Noor mused, her voice a thoughtful melody. "The possibilities are vast, but so too are the risks." "We'll need to tread carefully," I agreed, considering the envoy's offer, a chance to expand the conclave's influence, to weave a new tapestry of cooperation across the stars. As the discussions unfolded, the rift's mysteries loomed ever larger, a reminder of the delicate balance we had struck. The Arcani's legacy was a beacon of hope and caution, its lessons a guiding light as we navigated the uncharted reaches of possibility. Amidst the negotiations, a sudden tremor rippled through the conclave, a distant echo that resonated through the structure, a harbinger of yet another challenge. "What now?" I muttered, glancing at Noor, who was already scanning the room for answers. "The rift's energies are shifting," she said, her tendrils weaving a pattern of concern, "a reaction to the influx of new vessels, perhaps." Kasak's expression was grave. "We must investigate. The rift is sensitive to the presence of so many minds and machines." Without hesitation, we set out to examine the disturbance, our steps guided by the whisper of the rift's song. As we reached the observation deck, the source of the tremor became clear, a swirling vortex at the heart of the rift, its energies coalescing into a spiral of light and shadow. "An anomaly," Noor observed, her gaze transfixed by the spectacle, "one we have not encountered before." Riven joined us, his eyes alight with intrigue. "Fascinating. It's as if the rift is responding to our presence, an invitation or a warning." I considered the swirling edifice, its form both mesmerizing and foreboding. Whatever it is, we need to understand it, and quickly. The rift's balance is delicate, and we can't afford to tip the scales. As we stood on the precipice of revelation, a sense of unity wove through our disparate gathering, a shared purpose, a collective will to embrace the unknown and uncover the truths hidden within the rift's depths. Together, we would forge a new path, drawing strength from the past and hope from the future, united in our quest to unravel the mysteries of the universe and shape our destiny among the stars. Part 9: The Dance of Echoes. The vortex at the heart of the rift pulsated like a living entity, It spirals a kaleidoscope of colors and shadows that twisted and turned with a hypnotic rhythm. It was as if the rift itself breathed, drawing energy from the myriad minds and machines gathered at its edge. Noor's luminous form hovered beside me, her gaze fixed on the swirling anomaly. The rift is awakening, responding to the convergence of so much life and ambition. And ambitions have a way of getting messy, I replied, eyes narrowing as I studied the patterns shifting within the vortex. It felt alive, a sentient storm awaiting its cue. Kasak joined us, his presence a steady anchor amidst the spiraling maelstrom. The anomaly is unlike anything we've encountered. Its energies resonate with the rift's song, yet there is a discord, a tension that seeks resolution. What do we do? I asked, the weight of command heavy on my shoulders. Is this something we can control or even understand? Riven stepped forward, his expression serious but tinged with a rogue's curiosity. Perhaps it isn't about control, but harmony. The rift reflects our intentions. If we approach with balance, we may find the answers we seek. Noor nodded, her tendrils weaving patterns of thought in the air. A delicate dance, then. As the conclave's emissaries gathered, the air hummed with anticipation and unspoken fear. The stakes had risen, the balance more precarious than ever before. We had become both explorers and custodians of the rift's immeasurable power. The decision was made to send a team into the anomaly, a diverse assembly of minds and skills, each member a thread in the intricate tapestry we hoped to weave. I would lead, joined by Noor, Kasak, and Riven, our unity a testament to the potential of collaboration. "Ready, Captain?" Noor asked, her voice a quiet melody that cut through the ambient noise. "As ready as I'll ever be," I replied, adjusting Zephyr systems to account for the anomaly's unpredictable nature. The ship's hull thrummed with anticipation, its spirit entwined with the rift's potential. With a nod, our vessel slipped into the vortex, the transition marked by a surreal shift in reality. The world around us warped, stretched, and reformed, time and space losing their grip as the rift's energies enveloped us. Inside, the vortex was a realm of echoes, a place where past, present, and future intertwined in a vivid tapestry of experiences. Memories drifted like stars in a cosmic sea, each one a fragment of a life lived or yet to be. "What are we seeing?" Riven asked, his voice subdued by the expanse around us. "The rift's consciousness," Noor answered, her tendrils reaching out to touch the flowing stream of visions. "It reflects our collective soul, hopes, fears, dreams, all intertwined." Among the cascades of memories, I caught glimpses of the Arcani, a civilization on the brink of greatness, their ambitions limitless and their downfall a poignant reminder of the dangers that lay ahead. And beyond them, shadows of the future, paths branching out like cosmic tendrils. Kasak's presence loomed beside me, his gaze fixed on a scene unfolding before us, a future where the conclave stood united, a beacon of peace amidst the stars. Yet there were other paths, darker ones, where discord and conflict tore the galaxy asunder. "We must choose," Kasak intoned, his voice resonating with the gravity of our task. "The rift has shown us possibilities, but it is up to us to shape reality." "Choose wisely and we forge a brighter tomorrow," Noor added, her gaze meeting mine. "Together, we can heal the fractures that divide us." As the anomaly's energies swirled around us, a clarity emerged, a vision of unity born from diversity, of strength found in cooperation. It was a future within reach, one we could grasp if we embraced the rift's lessons. "We won't squander this gift," I vowed, my voice steady and sure. "We'll chart a course that honors the Arcani's legacy while forging a new path." With our resolve set, the vortex began to calm, its energies aligning with our shared intent. The visions faded, the echoes of potential settling into the tapestry of what could be. As we emerged from the anomaly, the conclave greeted us with hopeful eyes, their anticipation a palpable force. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but we were united, our hearts and minds intertwined with the rift's song. Together, we would navigate the cosmos, drawing strength from the past and vision from the future, weaving a legacy that would endure amidst the stars. And as we faced the dawn of a new era, the the rift's dance of echoes resonated within us, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that awaited us on this extraordinary journey. Part 10: The Shattered Spectrum. As the vortex's final echoes faded into the cosmic expanse, we returned to the celestial conclave with an invigorated sense of purpose. The air was thick with anticipation, a shared understanding that the rift's mysteries had gifted us a glimpse, a blueprint for potential futures awaiting our construction. But amidst the newfound resolve, I couldn't shake the feeling that the rift had one final card to play, a hidden facet yet to reveal itself. "Captain Marshall," Noor said, her presence glowing beside me as we walked the conclave's bustling corridors. "The rift's song is ever-changing. It evolves with us." I nodded, my mind sifting through the possibilities. "And it's been a whirlwind, conductor. We need to ensure the balance holds, especially with so many players at the table." As if responding to my unspoken fears, a priority signal chimed on my communicator, an urgent message from the outer periphery of the conclave. I exchanged a glance with Noor and activated the receiver. "Captain, this is Harkin from the Boundary Station," a voice crackled through the static. "We've detected an anomaly, a disturbance in the fabric itself." "Another anomaly," I replied, a chill threading through my veins. "Any idea what we're dealing with this time?" "Not yet," Harkin admitted, his tone grave. "But it's unlike anything we've seen, like the spectrum of reality itself is fracturing." The council convened swiftly, the chamber abuzz with speculation and concern. Kasak, his presence a granite pillar amidst the tumult, gestured to a holographic display showing a chaotic swirl of light and shadow, a spectacle of colors unraveling at the periphery. "We must investigate," Kasak declared, his voice resolute. "The rift is responding to our influence. If left unchecked, this anomaly could destabilize everything we've worked for." "Captain Marshall, will you lead this expedition?" Noor asked, her eyes reflecting the myriad hues of the hologram. "Wouldn't miss it for the galaxy," I replied, a blend of determination and trepidation coursing through me. "Let's see what the rift has cooked up this time." A task force was assembled, scientists, engineers, explorers, each member a vital thread in the tapestry of our mission. With Zephyr at the helm, we set course for the periphery, where the anomaly lay like a wound in the fabric of the cosmos. As we approached, the sight was both mesmerizing and unsettling, a kaleidoscope of colors, a shattered spectrum twisting and turning in the void. The rift pulsed with a frenetic energy, a symphony of discord threatening to unravel. "Brace yourselves," I called to the crew guiding Zephyr through the turbulent currents. Alarms blared, the ship buffeted by waves of shifting reality. Noor's voice resonated through the chaos, a beacon of calm. "The spectrum is a manifestation of the rift's consciousness, an expression of its struggle to adapt to our presence. Let's hope it doesn't decide to throw us out with the cosmic trash," Riven quipped from the bridge, his humor a thin veneer for the tension threading through his voice. As we drew closer to the heart of the anomaly, sensors hummed with data, unraveling the threads of the fractured spectrum. I peered at the readouts, trying to make sense of the patterns unfolding before us. "The spectrum is expanding," Kasak noted, his eyes scanning the displays. "It's as if the rift is testing us, challenging us to respond." "And respond we shall," Noor replied, her tendrils weaving intricate patterns of light. "We must find a way to stabilize the spectrum, to harmonize with its song." With the crew working in concert, we began to unravel the threads of the anomaly. Adjustments made to Zephyr's systems fine-tuned our approach, the ship resonating in harmony with the rift's chaotic symphony. As we maneuvered closer, the spectrum's colors shifted, a vibrant dance of equilibrium and chaos. The rift seemed to sense our intent, its energies weaving a protective cocoon around us. "Almost there," I murmured, fingers flying over the controls. The ship responded like an extension of my own will, a testament to the bond we'd forged in the face of the unknown. With a final surge of synchronized effort, we reached the spectrum's heart, an ephemeral core of light and shadow, its form ever-changing yet strangely constant. The rift's song resonated through the ship, a symphony of potential and promise. In that moment, a profound connection unfolded, the rift's consciousness brushing against our own, a dance of echoes and intentions, a dialogue between the stars. "We've done it," Kassak said, awe threaded through his voice. "The rift acknowledges us, trusts us." As the spectrum settled into a harmonious glow, a sense of accomplishment swept through the crew. We had faced the rift's challenge and emerged the stronger for it, our unity a beacon of hope amidst the cosmic tapestry. With the anomaly stabilized, Zephyr glided back to the conclave, our mission a resounding success. Yet the journey was far from over. The rift would continue to evolve, its mysteries beckoning us ever forward. Together, we would embrace the unknown, charting a course through the ever-shifting landscape of possibility, united in the knowledge that the future was ours to shape among the stars.